Lots of water. Gary, you all right?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Just give it a second, Gary.
Nigel.
Okay, Gary, do you want to start?
Well, nice to see you. I haven't seen you before, so congratulations.
No, thanks, Gary.
Give us some any injury news that you might have, please.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's a lot of injury news, which is pretty much bad news for us in our current plight. Benteke, you know about. I mean, he, like Mendy, got injured in the game. His injury is slightly less serious, it seems, than Mendy's, but he's got the medial ligament damage, which will keep him out for a minimum of 6 weeks. We don't think he'll be able to train before 6 weeks, so that's an important one. Loftus-Cheek has a thigh strain, which he's been battling with for some period of time, and that will keep him out of the game. Wilf Sahar, of course, you know about. Who else is there? There's plenty. Oh, James Tompkins is sick, so James Tompkins is out. Connor Wickham, again, you know about. So, unfortunately, at the moment, we've been hit by a plague of injuries at a time when we could have done without it.
So on the scale of how the news might have been regarding Christian, it's towards the bad end of the scale.
Well, it's medial ligament damage, so all ligament damage is problematic. Luckily, I don't think it's affected the meniscus, which is very helpful, because had it done that as well, it complicates the injury. But of course, all injuries like this, they're basically 4 to 6 week injuries if you're lucky.
And that's 6 weeks before he can train, so obviously a couple of months before he can probably...
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
And what, is Wilfred ahead of schedule at all?
Yeah, I think Wilf's been about 6 weeks, and his injury, according to the doctor, is very, very similar to the one that Christian's picked up, and it's taken him 6 weeks to get back so he can be on the field again, and I think he's going to join in with us at least a part of the session today, and then we're really hoping that next Monday he will be with us, and we'll be able to use him like everybody else during the international break.
Okay, but too early to be involved?
Oh yes, yeah, no, not a question.
So does the international break in a way come at a good time for you, given that injury?
Well, I suppose it comes at a good time in the sense that it's a complete week without any matches to play, so it means that the injured players will miss one less match, but otherwise it doesn't make a vast difference.
Hopefully we'll be involved against Chelsea, for example.
We hope so, but we'll have to wait and see how he reacts to the training sessions. It's been a while. I haven't actually seen him in training yet. All my conversations with him have been around the training ground.
So you might be looking for some kind of cover, given the problem you've got up front in terms of injuries. Any names you can give us?
No, I can't, because to be brutally honest, it's not easy to find players who are going to be good enough to come into the Premiership and make us a better team who are out of work. We're not the only club with an eye to anybody who may just be available and who may be willing to come and work on perhaps even a short-term contract because they don't have a club. But let's be fair, if we're going to get better as a football team, it's a big ask if it's going to be somebody who hasn't got a club and is currently out of work.
So Carlton Cole, for example, has been mentioned.
Has he? I don't know about that. Not to me, hasn't been mentioned.
So that's not what you're looking at?
Well, we've got a sporting director, Doug Friedman, who's doing a remarkable job and is really working unbelievably hard to sort of turn over every particular stone and hopefully find something under the stone. Now, whether he has actually spoken or thought about Carlton Cole, I can't answer. I doubt it, because I think he would have mentioned it to me.
Yes, good point. So obviously, never a good time to play Manchester United, but does the fact they have to go to Russia and back for a Wednesday night game help at all?
I don't know. I mean, there's never a good time to play Manchester United, and there's always a good time to play Manchester United. We are in the league, and I think I said last week, to obviously play against the big teams, the teams with the big players. I guess Jose will say that, you know, it's not ideal to be playing on a Saturday afternoon after travelling back from Russia, but they do have a very strong team, they do have a very strong squad, and certainly on paper they are clearly a stronger team than we are. But it's not played on paper, and we can only hope that we can go out and give them a good game, and that any good luck that's going around in the game goes our way.
Is there any way at all you can use the results against Manchester City as a positive, as something to build on, or is it always just a downer?
No, there's no point trying to suggest that. I think that the last 2 goals were very harsh. They were wonder goals. The header, and of course Fabian with his wrong foot scoring from 25 yards into the roof of the net, that aggravated things. A 3-0 defeat probably would have been tough to take as well, but it was probably would have been a bit of a fairer result as far as we saw it. But it wasn't. It was 5-0, and there's nothing positive to be taken out of that. All you can do is put it behind you, accept that you've been clearly beaten by a better team, and keep working on the training ground to try and make sure it doesn't happen to you in the next game. And there we haven't been blessed exactly, because our next game happens to be Manchester United, and the one after that Chelsea, so fate hasn't been kind to us.
Of course, you knew the fixtures that were coming up when you took the job.
Yes.
You always knew probably this was going to be the situation.
Yes.
Do you look ahead to some of the fixtures in late October, November, December, as places where you can start to get the points you need?
What we do at the moment, Gary, is we try and look ahead in the sense that, you know, we're trying to work with the team to try and, you know, instill, if you like, in the team what our ideas are with regard to the defending and attacking side of the game, and to do that on the training field and in our team meetings and with our videos. And I would like to think that as time goes on, we will get better. The players will understand more what we want from them, and you know, they'll be able to show that on the field of play. But there is pain ahead. You know, we've suffered already quite a lot of pain with Southampton and Man City. There might be more pain that can be caused us by the likes of Man United and Chelsea, but it doesn't faze us at all, and it's not going to put I or my coaching staff off the task that we have ahead of us at all. And I'd like to think that the players also will be able to see it. This is something we've got to go through and survive as best we can, and then we've got to start getting better when we maybe start playing teams that are a little bit closer to ourselves in terms of their playing personnel.
It sounds like, given your experience, it sounds like actually you've seen enough here to be optimistic in the moment.
Well, I'm always optimistic. I think I'm really enjoying working at the club. I think the players are responding extremely well to the work we're trying to do. And as a football coach, that's all you can ask. And we'll continue to be optimistic, and we'll continue to be very positive. And we'll continue to try and put bad results behind us, all the time learning from them, because that's really all you can do. And if you play Manchester City in the form they are at the moment, the lessons actually can be quite harsh. I mean, they could easily have scored 6 or 7 against Shakhtar Donetsk, who are absolutely no mugs at the highest international level. So I'm anxious not to use too many cliches in these meetings. I'm anxious not to say, well, the 5-0 meant this, that and the other. It was 5-0, and that's a heavy defeat, and we didn't like it, that's for sure. And one thing's for certain, we'll be working very hard to try and make sure that we can't allow Man United to beat us 5-0. That doesn't mean to say they can't do it, but we'll be working hard to try and stop them.
A few more for me. You're hoping against Romelu Lukaku has an off day.
We're hoping a lot of people have an off day, but the fact is that doesn't work in football. You can't work on teams having off days. You can only work on you doing the job that you've set out to do and doing it well. That's all you can do.
Talk about off days. As a coach, a very experienced coach, just generally speaking now, not specifically about Aguero, but if you give a player a day off to rest, what do you consider a rest day to be for one of your players who's due to play a big game at the weekend? If it's, say, a Thursday.
I think this is an individual thing, and it depends upon the player's relationship with the manager, how much the manager believes he can trust the player to behave in the right way. I think the simple answer to the question, an off day is an off day. You know, when you say to the players, this is your day off, it's their day off. And I don't know that one should be really thinking about dictating how they should spend that day off. And it's really a question of hoping and having that relationship, as I say, with the player, that you trust him. And it seems to me that Sergio's just been unbelievably unlucky. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have any issues with that at all. And you'd have to ask Pep what his thoughts on the matter are. But for me, an off day, rest day, whatever you like to call it, is a day away from training. And the players, I think, as long as they don't do anything untoward or anything totally unprofessional, should be able to spend it in the way they want to spend it.
That's not one bit of news that's broken away on the training pitch, unfortunately. Dele Alli in the UK.
Right.
One game.
Good. Well, I mean, good and not good. I mean, good in the sense that it's not a longer ban. Not good, of course, to get a ban and to find yourself missing a game, but I'm pleased it's only one game, and I can only hope that, you know, Dele learns from this experience, because he's an unbelievably good player, even at such a young age. And of course, you know, if this was a mistake that he made here, he will make those mistakes. That's what young players do. But he's got many good years with England ahead of him, so I'm glad he'll only miss one match.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Hi.
I know Freddie Lazapo was training yesterday. He doesn't have any Premier League experience, but
No.
would he be ready to play?
Well, he's been training with the first team for quite a while now, I think. He's certainly been training with the first team all the time I've been with the club. And he's a good athlete and a hard worker, and I'm pretty sure that if he ever gets a chance to play in the first team, he'll be showing all of those qualities. He's an unknown quality, of course. That's the thing. He's certainly an unknown quality for me, because I haven't had the chance to see him in action at that sort of level. But he hasn't played many games for other managers before me, so there's not a lot of information within the club as to how he would react. But in the current situation we find ourselves, where, you know, we really don't have the cover or the backup for Christian Benteke, the fact that he's training every day and he is a centre forward puts him very much in the frame.
Would you say he would be worth taking a risk on, bearing in mind you almost go to Old Trafford with nothing to lose?
Well, I wish that was the case, that we had nothing to lose. I feel we have got something to lose. I think you've always got something to lose when you step on the football pitch, both as a manager and a coach and as a player. So I wouldn't say that we can have that attitude at all. You can only have that type of attitude in maybe a friendly match. You might arrange a friendly like we did against Bromley, where there's literally nothing to lose, or a friendly that we have during the international break against QPR, where there's nothing to lose. It's behind closed doors and you're just anxious to see what people can do. Every time it's a competitive match with millions of people all around the world watching you, you've got a lot to lose.
Because you've got Manchester United and Chelsea, I was kind of alluding to what Gary asked you a moment ago. Will you be relieved when this tough fixtures are over?
Well, it depends what the results are like and the performances are like. So I have to sort of compartmentalise there. The results, obviously, because football's about results. At the level that I work at, it's purely about results. But to get results, you've got to get performances. So to some extent, we have to compartmentalise and look at what the performances are like. So if you take the last game where the result is disastrous, a lot of things that we did and the way we played in the first half were not disastrous in my eyes, and gave reason to believe if we can keep doing this, we might get better. And that will be the case when we play Man United and Chelsea.
I know you're more unhappy with the second half against City, but do you think that from a player's point of view, they will be more determined to not go and get another 5-0 thrashing?
Well, there's no doubt about that. You know, this is a professional football team that's been in the Premier League for the last, 4 years? 4 years?
It's our fifth, yeah.
Yeah, this is the 5th year. You know, they've played at Man United many times, Man City many times. We've got players who've got lots of Premiership games behind them. There's no question of any of those players thinking, well, we can go onto the field today because we've got nothing to lose. They expect to go on the field and get results. I remember at the end of last season sitting at Stamford Bridge watching Crystal Palace beat Chelsea just before they became crowned champions at Stamford Bridge. So there's no question of that. We're we'll go to Man United believing and thinking that if we play as well as we can play, this is a game we can win. And it will be up to Manchester United, as Man City actually did, to prove at the moment you're not capable of it because we're better than you.
Just one last question on Bakary Sakho. He played up front against Hodgson in the EFL Cup and scored. What attributes does he have to come start getting goals while preventing these down?
Well, he was bought from Wolves as a goal scorer. He was bought as a left winger, but he's a powerful man, a very powerful striker with the ball, especially with his left foot. He doesn't have a lot of experience playing in the position that he played against Huddersfield, but we were obviously satisfied with his performance that day, A, with his work rate, B, with his application, and of course the fact he scored a goal from the corner was the icing on the cake. But again, you're asking me, after 3 weeks actually working with him and having seen him occasionally playing for Wolves, and actually watching a video of him playing for Saint-Etienne during my West Bromwich Albion days. I don't have that level of knowledge about him at the moment to make bold judgments. It'll be up to him now, if he gets chances, to show us what he can do.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Amy?
Just a couple from me. Rory, going back to the injury reviews, with regards to Benny, how much of a blow is it having him around for 6 weeks at least?
It's a major blow, as I said earlier on, because we don't really have that many alternatives. So he was playing as a centre forward without too many people sort of breathing down his neck, or him having to look over his shoulder. That's a factor. And of course he's a quality player, you know, bought for a lot of money, a proven goal scorer. Even though it hasn't started well this season for him in terms of goals, his record as a proven goal scorer is well documented. So it's a major blow. But these things happen in football. You know, I'm certain Pep at his press conference today is saying what a blow it is to lose Bernard Mendy. It happens. It's a trauma injury, and these are things that are always going to happen, and you have to live with them. And there's no point crying too much about it because it's something that you can't put right. No amount of words will ever change the situation. It's happened. He's out for a while, and we don't have him, and we've got to find an alternative.
You've been a manager now and a coach for decades, but what does it mean to you personally to get it right here?
The same as it's meant for me really to get it right in all the jobs I've had. There's no difference. I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased after a year not working at this level, to be back working at this level with the players, and it means as much to me in terms of getting results and helping the team improve, I hope, as it's always done. So nothing has changed at all in that respect, and if the day ever comes when it does change, then that's the time I shall know that this is no longer the moment when I should be working. But I haven't reached that stage yet. In fact, I think I'm far from it. But we'll see how far I am from it. That time will tell. But certainly I don't have any difference in attitude due to the fact that it's not my first club, or I have got experience of other clubs.
When you look at the struggles in the league, how difficult is it keeping morale up in the dressing room, keeping the players their confidence up?
Well, morale takes a blow when you lose matches. You don't often see teams that are winning teams with bad team spirit. The bad team spirit is often sort of the domain, if you like, of the teams that aren't doing quite so well. But I must say that I haven't noticed either in training or around the training ground or in discussions with the players a particularly deep lack of morale or a lack of team spirit. I think we have that. I think the morale will be there. I think the team spirit is certainly there. What we need to sort of back it up and help us get a real smile on our face is some results. In the meantime, it's up to us, the coaching staff, to make certain that without necessarily putting smiles on faces, at least we're doing the right type of work with the players. So when they finish their training sessions, they go home satisfied that the work they've done is the right sort of work and that they're being treated in the right way as professionals. That's what we can actually affect. The morale and the team spirit that comes from victories, only results can affect that, and then we've got to get them. And up to now, it's patently obvious that we haven't got them.
Okay, and Pete?
Good afternoon, Roy.
Pete, what else is there to say?
Let's try this one. When you took
Okay.
over the club, was it something you identified that perhaps if you did get a situation like this, 5 or 6 players, first team players injured, that you didn't quite have the strength and depth that you would need?
I came after the transfer window, so in actual fact it would have been a pointless question, a pointless observation. I was asked to come to the club and do the job when the transfer window had ended. I was given a list of players. I was well aware of, you know, where we were a bit short of cover, etc. And I happily took the job on knowing all of those things. So it's far too late now to start concerning myself with that. My job is to make certain that the players that are here, the players that are out on that training field with me virtually every day, that I do the best job I can do for them, with them, and make certain that they understand that the expectations are still very high, both from myself and from Ray Lewington and Stephen Reid. We set high standards and we expect them to meet those standards because we believe, quite simply, that we all have the same attitude, we all have the same goal, we're all in the same boat. So that's all really that one can do, and I don't look back and think, well, if only we had a bit more cover, if only we had more cover in this, that and the other area, because I know perfectly well and knew perfectly well when I took the job what the squad was.
Is there a temptation to blood some of the younger players now that probably wouldn't get an opportunity?
Well, they've got to prove they're worth it. I mean, the fact is, with the England team in particular, we brought an awful lot of young players into the team. You know, often with the press raising an eyebrow because they didn't think the players were ready or good enough, or that they were too young. Those things worked very well in our favour, and I think all of those players, they are now the backbone of the England national team. But the thing is, they were good enough. That's the big question. So you don't blood young players or put young players in the team because they're young and keen and wanting to do well. You put them in the team because they're better than the senior ones or the ones that you're working with. And the young players we have here will have to prove that to me. And I give them the chance because we've got certainly 3 of them training with us every day, and we often bring ones up from the academy to look at those players as well. The game against Bromley in the second half was basically an academy team. So that's all you can do as a manager. Put them on the field, give them the chance, let them train with the first team if they're good enough, and then it's up to them to start really getting into your eye line and making it clear to you that you should be picking me because I'm better than the ones you're picking.
Okay, thanks. That ends the broadcast section.